Welcome to the SEGA Lounge, where we celebrate our love for all things SEGA, including the games, the music, and the community. I'm your host, KC. Join me as I talk to different guests and learn more about their projects and passion for SEGA. Hello and welcome to RadioSEGA and to Twitch, to our live Twitch channel. Welcome to the SEGA Lounge, a podcast that's all about SEGA in all of its forms, the music, the games, the community, and all things in between. I'm your host, KC. This is episode 250, and as per usual, I am not alone. I am joined by this lovely panel of guests. We have Skill Jim. Hello, Skill Jim.
Yo, yo.
Yo.
He's skilled.
He is, and his Jim.
That's me.
Yeah. And we have Lime Reversed.
Hello.
Welcome. No, that's me. That's
I
to
know,
the other
okay.
side.
Never get
Jim.
it,
Yeah,
man.
that's it. Okay.
There we go.
So yeah, yo. So for the first time ever, or not for the first time, but for the first time this season, we're all together here for one of our news roundups. So very nice to have you back, guys. Thank you for joining
Thank you.
me. Yeah.
Nice to be here.
And as you know, we are live on both RadioSEGA, hello RadioSEGA, and on our Twitch channel. So if you're watching live, say hello on the RadioSEGA Discord, radiose.ga/Discord, or on the Twitch chat, and we'll say hello back. Maybe.
I shall do it right now. I shall
Okay.
go and I shall say hello.
And you'll
I'm
say
gonna
hello
go.
and hello back to yourself.
It's so
That's it.
yes, exactly.
Exactly. Also,
Hello.
thank you
Hello,
to the raiders that came with Lime Reversed from your stream. How was your stream, Lime? Did you have fun?
It was good. It was good. Doing some difficult challenges, so it's definitely been a lot of high heart rates.
Okay. Yeah, that's nothing for you. You're
It's
you're,
nothing.
you're a
It's
man
not-
who
it's
enjoys a
nothing.
good challenge. Yeah. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, right? That's this game that I've been meaning to try. I know it's not Sega, but I've been meaning to try that. They say it's a very
like
good platformer.
I kind of went out of my way not to mention it because I'm not,
It's okay.
sure what
I've been playing a game
protocol is.
that's been challenging.
I have been playing a game
exactly.
by a company.
That's what I did. I didn't even. Yeah.
It's okay. This is a hate-free zone. Hashtag cancel Lime Reversed. And we have another raid. These are the joys of doing live shows. Hello, Fritz, and hello
Fritz.
to your raiders. Welcome to the SEGA Lounge. You come at the right
Lounge.
time. It's a lounge. Hello, welcome. You came at just the right time. Welcome in. We're doing our monthly news roundup, but this time it's not going to be monthly. It's going to be more like for the last 3 months, because this is the first one we're doing this season, and so we're gonna have a little like brief discussion on some of these items, news items that we have here. Have a short-ish list of items that we're gonna blaze through at the speed of sound. Yeah. Rafsig says, here now that you mentioned it's a live show.
Hi,
Welcome,
Rafsig.
Rafsig. Welcome. And also, welcome to Fritz. Hope you had a great stream and you're enjoying yourself. So, guys, let's get on with this, right? We are going to go through a list of news that I think are relevant, that happened or are happening these days. And I actually group them into two groups. First is news, like generic SEGA news, and then games and DLC. Refsig mentions CR7 on Fatal Fury, most important SEGA piece of news. That's true. Cristiano Ronaldo is in Fatal Fury for some reason, voiced by a Spanish or Latin person for some reason as well.
Cool.
And it's a thing, and it's SEGA adjacent, I guess. So yeah,
Sense.
but let's go into the actual SEGA news. So first up, we're going to start with some good news because we are all about the good news here. First up, we have good news for Sega in 2024. So they have been named Metacritic's Publisher of the Year 2024, which is
amazing.
great, right?
Wow.
So they and if you go to the Metacritic website, metacritic.com, they posted on March 5th, posted like their annual game publisher rankings, and it's like you start from number 37. There's too many publishers. I think 37. I would just like say 15, 20 tops, but no, 37. And maybe there are ones that aren't here that didn't get ranked for some reason, maybe. I don't know, but it's
Like someone that just made one game.
that like got a score of Metacritic score of 0.
100%.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
But the important thing is, by the way, the top 5: Focus Entertainment, makers of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
Okay.
Number 4, Sony. Number 3, Axis Games. Number 2, Capcom, which have been doing pretty well in recent years as well, at least in this department. And then number 1, Sega, with 325.5 points. Last year, so I should actually share this with our viewers. Last year, they were number 9. Out of 46. So last year we had more publishers enter the rankings here. So 9 out of 46. They had an average Metascore of 82.9. So out of all the games that they released and were ranked, 82.9, which is really, really, really good. 86% good games, 0% bad, 3% great games. And the best game of 2024 was Metaphor. Say it with me, guys. Refantasio. Refantasio. That's it. Yeah. So that's really, really good. The first publisher to achieve our number 1 ranking 3 times, they say. Sega was buoyed by the massive critical acclaim for the JRPG Metaphor Refantasio, a rare all-new IP in a sea of remake sports and sequels. And speaking of the latter, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth also scored in the 90s. Sega's only real dud last year was Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, sweep the board. And even with that disappointment, the publisher still finished with the year's highest average Metascore. Interesting. Very good.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And they were number 1 in 2020, and 2016, which
What happened that
is
year?
interesting. I can't remember what happened in 2016 to grant them this first place. But do you guys remember 2016 Sega?
Like I say, maybe they only did one game and it was 10 out of 10.
Oh, Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. That's
10 out of 10.
for sure it. Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016. What else? I should have
Sega
this up
Genesis
earlier.
Classic console
Persona 5,
2016.
Kiwami.
Maybe that was probably a Yakuza 6. No,
6.
that's
Yep.
too early, I think, for Yakuza 6. No, maybe
Just
yeah.
reading
Maybe
the
it
chat,
was.
what Rob said.
Oh yeah, sorry. I should pay attention to the chat. Yeah. Persona 5. Oh, Persona 5, Yakuza 6, also Kiwami. Okay, Persona 5. Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. Yeah, I forgot about Persona 5. Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Yeah.
So that list that you just had up a minute ago, Casey, how long has it been going on for?
So they have the rankings all the way back to 2011.
So 3 times in 14 years. Not
Yeah.
bad, is it?
Purvis on the Discord chat, RadioSEGA's Discord chat, asked who was number 1 last year. Sony was number 1 last year, so 2023.
Capcom.
2022, Microsoft. 2021, Sega. 2020, 505 Games. 2019, Capcom, and so on. Yeah. So yeah, congrats to Sega for a brilliant
Good.
year of 2024. As we had mentioned on our show last season when we did like the last episode of the season. Hatsune Miku Project Diva X was in 2016 as well. Says Fritz. Excellent. Yeah. He actually said
Cool, cool.
Hatsune Mike. I'd pay for that. Hatsune Mike Project
Yeah.
Diva.
Mike,
Completely different game, but I'd pay for that. I'd play that, yeah, for sure. Uh, like
So I'm
I don't know.
assuming like Sonic X Generations was part of
Hmm.
this year's as well,
Yeah,
because that wasn't mentioned. But yeah,
it wasn't. It wasn't like it was probably. I can actually check the Metacritic scores for that, but it wasn't maybe as highly rated as the other games. 80 Metascore of 80.
okay.
At least on PS5, 81 Switch for some reason, and 77 Xbox Series X. So it was a little bit maybe lower than the other ones. Like Dragon, I know I think we talked about this last year. 89 for Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor was probably in the 90s, 94, I think. Yeah, 94. So
Awesome.
yeah,
it's strange. I can't find Persona 5 on the wiki list here of Sega games.
Persona 5
2016.
got a 93, and Persona 5 Royal got a 95
Yeah.
with
Wow.
like Metascores. Yeah. Yes.
Unicorn Overlord 86. Rav
Yeah.
says.
Unicorn. We mentioned that as well. So Sonic X Shadow Generations wasn't really the highest ranked one, but 80 is pretty good. So it definitely
And what did the
contributed to the positive.
Dragon Slayer actually get? What? So we know like
So
what brought the
Demon
average down.
Slayer, right? Demon Slayer 71.
Right. So
Even
Sonic
then,
and Demon Slayer probably just brought the average to 86, was it?
yeah. So but even then 71 is not bad.
No?
Right?
Decent?
71 is like decent. It's good. Like a 7 out of 10 is good. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
So
if that's the worst, it means it was a really good year for Sega.
quality
Yeah,
over quantity,
excellent.
maybe.
I think both actually. We
Yeah, I
got
think
more
they
games than we usually get. I don't think we're gonna get as many games this year from Sega. We'll see. Okay, so that's the first item. Check that off the list. Up next, we have the financial results for Q3 of the fiscal year ending March 2025. And I know, Skill Jim, you are a big fan of financial reports.
Mhm.
I
Uh,
always read them.
but
I
this one, and we were talking before we actually got on air. We're not sure if they always publish this style of report with the Q&A kind of
mm,
stuff, right? I know that many companies do this, Nintendo included. They actually do. They have Q&As like with investors during these meetings, and then they publish some of those questions and answers. I don't remember seeing something like this from Sega before, but I could be wrong.
I see. I personally don't either because I mean maybe it is a thing, and it's only really because we're doing these new shows that I would sit down and
Yeah.
actually read one of these things. But just the overall style and presentation is like quite surprising. It's very like candid.
Hmm.
It's not like a
Yeah.
professional. This is how much money we made. Here's a pie chart, etc. This is like, oh, why was the revenue down on pachinko machines and what your sales figures were slightly down than expected for
Hmm.
Metaphor. It's almost like I don't know who the other person is asking these questions, or is Sega asking themselves?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they could be like scripted in a way, right?
Mm,
But these are investor meetings, so only investors are supposedly allowed and take part
mm.
in these meetings. So there are people who have financial interests in Sega. Ref6 says scripted like WWE. maybe,
Maybe so.
maybe so. Yeah.
Like, what's the
This-
word on the street? Let's put that in a question and then give a fairly decent answer in
Yeah, like
response.
there's like a very heated question, and then they
Yeah.
give a good answer. Like, wow, they were so well prepared. People hitting others with chairs. That'd be one hell of a QA session with investors, says Rafsig. Again,
Sorry. Did
Yeah,
we ever
great.
answer who was? We're gonna jump a little bit. Someone asked who was last year's winner of
Yeah, we did.
Metacritic
Sony.
publisher.
Sony
Did
was
we
last
answer?
year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep. Fritz says I'd invest into Sega if that was a thing. I mean, that's maybe that's Hatsune Mic Project Eva. It's just like you're running a company and you have investor meetings. And Mike is the president, Hatsune Mike, and he like hits people with chairs and stuff. They ask difficult questions.
Sega coin. You can invest in Sega coin.
Sega coin. Okay, so I know you were looking into this before we started, James. Anything that you want to mention that was interesting, specific, like especially interesting for you?
I think it's worth, if anyone is actually interested in this Q&A type of format, it's not as difficult to read as you would expect going into, like, if you double clicking on a fiscal report 2024 document. That this is very much a digestible way of consuming what Sega are thinking. So they talk a little bit about the cancellation of Football Manager, which was, I know, is like a big thing that's unfortunately been delayed until next year now, I think, or at least the next football season. So it sort of talks about why that happened, why that was the case. And like I say, the questions are worded as though it was like, a hot press sort of question, like, oh, was it because you didn't have enough people manning this department or whatever? And they actually turn it around and say, no, it's nothing to do with that. It's just that we wanted to, like, sort of rejig the whole UI, and we hadn't quite completed it in time for the new season or whatever. So they wanted to sort of not rush it and continue
They
to work
actually
on it in
do
development.
focus a bit on FM25 and the cancellation, right?
Yes. But they also talk about other things, like like I mentioned, like your sales were projected to be slightly higher in this sort of area, and they weren't. And then they say, well, because of the cancellation of Football Manager, that takes into account why the sales were lower than expected, but the sales of other things are actually higher. So they sort of like make an optimistic point from a negative, if that makes sense. So it's a really well written. I say well written. I mean, it's sounds more like a chat, but it's a nice way to sort of digest what's going on behind the scenes at the company and what they're planning to do in the upcoming year.
Yeah. So
Like I say,
sales are
nothing.
down, but income is up, revenue is up, right?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Buy
Interesting.
high, sell cheap.
Yeah.
But
They
yeah, no, I
actually
think
mentioned like the yen, the depreciation of the yen also helped
yeah,
as well. So
which
it's
is
interesting
interesting.
to see like behind the scenes stuff like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely worth a read. But nothing particularly noteworthy. Nothing that you probably didn't know already.
Anything you want to mention here, Lime, that you found interesting?
I just skimmed through it a little bit. I saw that they were working with Sonic Rumble a little bit more to fix some issues that they found through text testing. Found that interesting, and I'm happy that they are taking reports seriously and really trying to make this as good as they can. So that is
Yep.
awesome. I am very much looking forward to try that.
I actually have a question here, and I don't know if that question will be answered later on because we're going to mention something that was announced recently. But they mentioned 2 free-to-play titles. And if you're watching, it's what we have on the screen right now. They mentioned 2 free-to-play titles. One is obviously Sonic Rumble, right?
Yep.
I don't really know what the other one is that they're focusing on. Could it be that Like a Dragon thing they just announced
I guess
for
it could be
Japan?
that that mobile like a dragon game, but
Hmm.
I also was wondering if it would be like a football manager type of game for the mobile phone as well, because they do typically do something alongside an actual console release, don't they? There's normally like a football manager portable version.
But I don't think
Feel like
that qualifies as free to play because it
I just
doesn't
felt like
really.
I've read that in the same sentence as.
Mm. No, they don't mention exact specific. They just mention Sonic Rumble. Could be Persona 5X, like Rafsig said. Yeah, Persona 5X, which is Asia only currently. That could be. That's a good shout. Actually, didn't remember that when I read this. Yeah, because they don't really mention apart from Sonic Rumble. They do mention the two free to play titles that were scheduled to launch this fiscal year, and then they mention just Sonic Rumble, just one. So yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Collab with every other mobile game, then they die. So you then release your own. So there's no competition. Easy, Atlas. Hello, King, the King. Welcome, welcome to the Sega Lounge channel, and welcome and thank you actually for following us. Yeah, so maybe that's it. Maybe that's Persona. Maybe that's Persona. Yeah, unless they're like uh they have something else. I thought of Crazy Taxi as well, which was rumored to be that, but it hasn't been announced yet. And so they said the titles that were scheduled to launch this fiscal year. So that's probably not something that we haven't heard of. So Persona 5X should be the other one, I'm guessing. Yeah. Uh, just a quick mention. Near the end, they talk about actually hiring more people, expanding their studios, and working on their biggest IPs like Atlas IPs, Sonic, Like a Dragon, and they are short-staffed, and so they are considering reinforcing personnel through additional hiring and M&A. Does anyone know what
M&A?
M&A is?
No idea.
Marketing and I don't know,
No,
advertisements,
no,
advertising.
I
No,
didn't know
no.
either, but now I
You
know.
know what it is.
I know because I looked it up. It's mergers and acquisitions,
Ah,
Oh,
which makes sense.
okay.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
But
this is
yeah,
this the document that sort of spurred that other recent headline that they're sort of doubling down on Sonic, Like a Dragon,
yeah, yeah.
etc.
I think so. I think so. So they're really focusing on their biggest IPs, which makes sense, right? And some of them are big overseas, like they say. So that's good. That's good news, and uh, especially since they're not really letting people go and considering hiring people instead. That's great news.
yeah.
It's like not really the trend right now, unfortunately. Okay, excellent. So, any other comments on this?
Not from me.
No.
A
Yeah.
lot of football manager focus. Like there are a lot of questions about that specifically.
I like we said, I think last year when we did like the tier list thing, Football Manager is really big for Sega. Makes a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of money. So the fact that we didn't get our usual Football Manager release this year, that like made a
Yeah.
big dent on their
Hurt the sales a bit
income.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Forecasted. Yeah.
yeah. So I think it's important for them to address that and ensure people that they're like focusing on having a good quality release for like FM 2026. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, something else that happened while we were away, while the Sega Lounge was on hiatus, was the creation by Sega of the Sega Account system, right? Which we can actually find at sega-account.com, if I'm not mistaken. That's the website. right? Yeah, and you are greeted with this if you're watching the stream. You can create a Sega account. We don't really get much information in terms of what we this means for the future. They just say it's a profile that lets you maximize Sega's online services and offers a ton of benefits. Anyone can sign up, and it's free to use. And you can actually link your like Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation and Steam accounts. So yeah, you can link all your accounts, just like Rafsik is saying. He linked all of his accounts already,
It's
and
ready to go.
the only thing that happened so far is they offered a special outfit, a special like Kiryu outfit for Majima, for like a dragon powered Yakuza in Hawaii. If you had your accounts linked and your Sega account
Right, right.
created, that's the only thing so far. But I'm guessing we'll get more like uh, in-game stuff, like cosmetics and stuff. Do you think this
Yeah.
will be the start of like the 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 foundation of their new retro game system service
Subscription
after they
service.
discontinue the classics things?
That's kind of like what I took it as when it first announced. I'd kind of forgot that this existed actually, and I remember seeing it and then signed up for it like day one, and then sort of put it to the back of my mind. But at the time, I did feel like this was what was going to essentially, because it came out a sort of the same sort of time as the delistings of those games, right, or not long after, very
A
soon
little bit,
after.
yeah. So like early 2025, like maybe
So
late
it's
January or something. Yeah.
So it sort of felt like the stepping stones of what would essentially become how you'd access a Sega online service,
Hmm.
potentially that might have like your retro games and whatnot available to play. And these games that they've delisted potentially then would pop up in this sort of online subscription service. Or the other thing it could be is very similar to sort of like Nintendo's, where you log in and you can, it's like a coin every time you log in every day, and you can click the coin and it adds it, and then as you play a game, just by sort of purchasing a game, you get 25 gold coins or something, and then they all sort of stack up, and then you can use them to
Right.
purchase digital items, or
Mm.
occasionally you can get like an actual posted item through the door. The vibe of this website has given me that kind of same sort of look and feel, where you're going to get a lot of benefits and rewards, potentially for like specifically buying a Sega product. Maybe they might start coming with a registration code or something that you can type on this website or link it. Obviously, you can link all your gaming accounts, like your Xbox, your Switch, and stuff, directly to the Sega account, and maybe it'll just detect that you own said game, and here's a bundle of Shamu jackets for Virtua Fighter 6, maybe,
For
that kind of thing.
for Majima as a pirate with a
Exactly. Yeah.
Shinbu jacket. Yeah, maybe.
Could work.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
I am thinking about the point from their side. From our side, it's like, oh, create an account, you'll get all these things. So come on, create an account. But for what? From their side, like what do they get out of people creating an account? It's very much like create an account because you'll get stuff. Yeah, okay, but like
Loyalty.
you're motivating me to do this. Why?
Data,
Just
which they
nice,
can
nice
Yeah,
sell.
people.
yeah,
Just very nice people, Lime.
They're it's just like it's selfless. They're just
yeah.
giving
I
you
see.
out of the kindness of their heart. I mean,
I
it's
see.
it's it's not new, right? We have Ubisoft accounts, EA accounts. I can't remember. Apart from like the console maker accounts, which you obviously need.
Mm,
But you have like publishers all have their own specific systems and accounts, which are more often than not, they are intrusive and not helpful at all.
Yeah, like
Like
with the Ubisoft
thinking of
account,
Ubisoft,
it was
the Ubisoft
definitely
account is like Uplay or whatever they call it. It's
yeah, yeah,
my
because
god.
I understood the point from the company side there is like, don't pirate our games, don't cheat, and we are going to make a platform so that you cannot do that. That's a feeling I got, at least. Like it was
Yeah,
really like locked behind
maybe
um
like a
that.
loyalty program as well
Mm,
as such, I think. But what it's gonna be really, we really don't know, right? Because it's not really fully fledged out right now, and
There's
it
not much
says,
information.
and they say something here, actually, that I forgot to mention. Coming soon. Look at your records for the games you've played. So it's probably gonna, maybe they'll like work like when that Nintendo app, the Switch online app, when you play like Splatoon or Animal Crossing, you can see um like the time you spent playing the game, how many matches you won or lost or whatever. Maybe that'll be information that you'll have accessible. And maybe if you have a game on PS5 and then another different game on Xbox, this will aggregate all that information and offer you like a Sega hub of sorts.
Oh, okay, okay,
Maybe.
okay. Here, by creating a Sega account, you'll receive the latest news about Sega Atlas games, events, and promotion. That's definitely something that helps. Like you get your information out to your customers about your events and your games, and all of the other stuff. So
But you
So you're saying
already
it's
do.
a glorified newsletter?
It's a
Fine.
glorified
Fine.
email newsletter. Like that Nintendo Today app they announced today, actually.
right, yeah.
It is out today. Maybe they'll make an app out of this.
Mhm.
So that's the future. We're gonna have an app for Nintendo, an app for Sony, an app for Xbox, for Sega, for all the publishers, and they'll have access to all of our data.
Depending what they do with the service, I mean, it could have some neat sort of functionality and benefits. Like, I feel like rather than the chat was sort of suggesting maybe like online rankings or something for games.
Mhm.
So if they are going to do a service, it might be quite cool to be able to see high scores and compare them with other players out there. And maybe they can even give, if they are going to add a Sega coin type of currency
Mm.
to the mix, maybe you can start earning some Sega coins to add to
You
your
you really
Sega
want the
wallet.
Sega coins?
Or rings. I suppose they would probably give you rings in this sense.
Doubloons to,
Doubloons.
wi-
And you can
because
maybe
of their
download the
pirate.
latest Pirate
Mm.
Yakuza wallpaper for your desktop.
I
They
mean,
always do stuff like that, don't they, about wallpapers.
who doesn't want to have this beautiful face on their phone staring at them like, ah, gotta love Majima. Okay, so yeah, the Sega account. If you were not familiar with this, if you want to give your information to Sega, feel free to, as we all did already, and please do welcome and submit to our Sega overlords. That's it. Moving on to
Overlords.
some quick bits of news before we get into the games, the ones that have been released while we were away, the ones that have been announced. But quick fire round. Sonic 4 gets a March 2027 release date. I mean, and this is news from January 21st. The movie was out less than a month before that. It was like it premiered like maybe the 21st as
Christmas
well, or
Day or something like
22nd, or
that.
yeah, for me it was like Christmas Day or the 26th or whatever. I think it was earlier for you guys, at least for you, Jim,
I think it might have been,
in the
yeah.
UK,
Was it
and for Lime
must have
because he
been
traveled to the UK for the
a week
premiere.
before, maybe? Yeah.
But that's amazing. It's obviously a big success. And it was teased at the end of the third
Well, that's
movie.
true, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we already knew it was coming, but now we get a release date, March 2027. Interesting, right? Because we really never really get a like
Mm.
no, I mean no. The first two were March,
The
weren't
first two
they?
were March.
Or
I
no?
don't know.
Or
I
no, no,
always
no.
thought they were.
Maybe the first one was February. I think it was like around Valentine's Day, perhaps. Am I making this
Maybe.
up? Or was it like
In
early
my
March?
in my head, I was just always thinking they were sort of around December, Christmas time.
I think this was the first one that was December. Lime's like thinking and like trying to access like memories
Memories.
within his
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah, indeed. Because I definitely remember going there, and I remember it being a special day somehow.
Wasn't it like Valentine's Day 2020? I think so. I have a feeling it was.
I don't know. Like Google here tells me February 12th, but that's South
Okay.
Korea. So
Oh,
I'm not sure if
South
I
Korea,
can trust
Portugal.
that.
But like February,
And yeah,
March, I think
United
for
States.
both games.
Yeah,
For both movies.
United States, February 14th here, I
Hmm.
get.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think
With
the
me.
second one was March, February, March as well, I believe. So this was the outlier. The third movie was different. We had a December release. So we're back to March, like first quarter of the year. And
I wonder if they've got
yeah,
like sort of stats to say which month is the better month. So maybe they sampled December, but then again, like the third movie's done the best, hasn't it, of all three, from what
yeah.
I heard.
So as of January 21st, when this news came out in Variety, by the way, there's an actual precise release date for the fourth movie, March 19th, 2027. And it's currently the only title on that date. So there's no competition
Yet.
yet.
Yeah.
Sonic 3 is officially the property's highest grossing entry with $218 million domestically and $422 million globally to date. The first one, $148 million in the US, $319 million $148 million in the US, $319 million in all around the world. Sonic 2, 190 million in the US and 405 globally. So yeah, this is definitely the biggest one of the trilogy.
Nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
look forward to that in a couple of years. Also, hello to Kai-san. Welcome to our stream. Hope you're doing
It's
well.
2 years to the next movie. My
Yes.
gosh.
Yes. It goes by
Casey,
in
I
a
can't
flash.
wait that long.
Yes, you can. It's gonna be so. It's
What
gonna go
you
by so
oh,
fast.
my gosh.
We're gonna have Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric remastered coming between now
Probably.
and then. And
Did I hear that they were going to be doing like a silver, not a silver series, but like a shadow series maybe as well? That
probably
could sort of tide us over.
That would
Probably.
be
Like they did
awesome.
yeah,
I would
the
love that.
Knuckles thing.
I'm guessing they're gonna like squeeze that as much as they can. And it's the quality is good, right? So even if I think Knuckles really didn't resonate with people as much as the movies, the Knuckles series, but it was just funny and decent enough.
It was
So yeah.
quality
Yeah.
product. It just wasn't
About
much of
Knuckles.
Knuckles. Yeah.
It was about bowling. Yeah. Okay, next bit of news. As we have like very short time to cover all of this, there's now a Sonic canon timeline on the Japanese website. So we're not gonna go into this too much, but like,
We're not gonna go through all of it.
no, because first of all, because I can't read Japanese.
Oh,
I
I
can
have
read
translated
period.
here right in front of
But
me.
If
Like you can
if
just
you go to the top Casey, top
Yeah.
right, you can actually convert it.
oh my god! See, as I was saying, I can't read period. It's the first time I'm seeing this. Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go.
So we got to read it all now.
So we have to. So it actually starts prehistory, tens of thousands of years ago, of thousands to thousands of years, thousands of years ago, 2,000 years ago, 50 years ago, 10 years ago, classic Sonic era, modern Sonic era,
I can't.
200 years later.
I'd like to think that like ever since Sonic One, this has been the plan. They knew this was going to happen eventually.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Okay, so what?
it's like
Okay,
a
the
Star
lore,
Wars
the
thing.
lore of Sonic One. Okay, yeah, we start at some point Dark Gaia, which grew over millions of years. Yeah,
Yeah. Sonic defeats
that's how we
Dr.
start the
Eggman, but
story.
like before that, we know that Dark Gaia and Light Gaia were a thing. So we're
Yeah.
gonna start
It was
very
always known.
small with like a little blue hedgehog attacking a scientist, but in reality,
Yeah.
it's all gonna be about like saving the
Yeah.
whole world.
And it was always about Dark and Light Gaia.
Yes.
Nobody
yes.
knew.
Hedgehog Star Wars.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm surprised. I'm
Exactly.
surprised it didn't start with Sonic 4, and then we've gone backwards, and then
Do
Sonic
we have
1.
Sonic 4? We have Sonic Mania. Where's Sonic 4? Actually? Oh, there we go.
Sonic
Sonic
4
4 is
is
listed,
in the
yes.
modern era.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Sonic
Oh, it's the
Shuffle's
start
listed,
of
which is
modern
amazing.
Sonic era.
So Sonic
Sonic
Shuffle's
Superstars.
canon.
Sonic Shuffle, yeah. There you go. The Crisis of Marginal World. The Crisis. A different world of light and dreams. This is good stuff. This is like
Sonic
this
Shuffle
ties
is in this,
everything
like-
together. All the
Yep.
games together.
Everything is. Sorry.
Yeah,
everything
that's
is
the
canon.
appropriate reaction. Yeah.
What I'd love is someone that doesn't know Sonic, and obviously they've just seen the Sonic films, and then they stumble across this, and then I'm gonna have to catch up on my Sonic canon story lore, and they're going through this.
Yeah. So,
My
and
gosh, Casey, are you gonna quiz us on this?
that's
this
a
gonna
very
be on
good
the
idea.
test?
That's a very good idea. Yeah. Fritz says it's just highlights at the moment. There is more to be added at a later date. So buckle up, people.
Is that true?
It's gonna get interesting.
Sonic the comic.
Oh, that would be nice. And like Archie Sonic, IDW
Yeah,
Sonic,
the TV cartoon stuff
Yes.
as well. Where does that fit in?
Sonic Underground. It's all canon. It's all canon. So take a look if you want to know more about Sonic lore, which is now actually a thing that Sega is very concerned about. They've been hiring people to work on Sonic lore. That's actually an official position, so they're definitely concerned about that. So take a look. Well, I'm going to leave links for all of this in the description of the video, the YouTube video, or the podcast notes. Okay, moving swiftly on to something that people are not really that happy with these guys these days, but there's Crazy Taxi merch being released by Limited Run Games. They're not the most popular company in the world these days. The quality of their releases has been questioned many a times, but it is what it is. And Sega have been releasing, or Limited Run Games actually have been releasing in pre-orders and starting pre-orders for these like trading card bundles themed around the Dreamcast. So the latest one is Crazy Taxi. We've had Sonic Adventure, Shenmue. What am I
Phantasy
missing?
Star Online.
Phantasy Star Online. Yeah. Okay. And so it's the trading cards. You have the coin. You have like the trading card storage box. You have posters, pin sets, and there's more that for some reason there is no hub page for all of this.
There's like a hanging arrow that you can hang in your
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, that's so stupid, but I actually like that. But it's really dumb. Like made probably like cheap plastic, but it's so silly. But I
And
love this.
I feel like it's always going to be hanging down, but
Of
maybe you
course,
can maybe you can get it to
or
rotate
maybe
somehow. I don't know.
tighten it and maybe like somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but like
That's a
some
very
sort of a
cool idea.
gyro. That would be cool if it was on a gyro, so it was like a
yeah.
compass.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's a
that would
better
be
idea for you.
nice. That would be nice. But yeah. Okay, so
They're
there we go.
like Sims should have an equivalent of that.
Oh, really?
But just
Yeah,
a hat with an arrow.
yeah, you know the little like green diamond
Mm.
that
Uh huh.
Sims,
Uh huh.
uh, the characters in The Sims have. That would definitely work with this as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you,
Because when we play
yeah.
Crazy Taxi, there's always the arrow showing you where you need to go. So I don't know how.
Oh, showing you where you need to go. Okay,
That's
no,
the
no,
idea
yeah,
here, right? So
yeah.
that's
I
when I
thought,
saw
okay,
this,
see,
I
see,
thought, how is this new? How is this the first time that uh, anyone is thinking of this? This is
Thinking
a
of that.
genius idea, but it's really silly, and it's
yeah.
like $20
I
for that. Yeah.
Okay, so
it
let me
would be
tell you
cool if
what I
the
thought here. Like it said like view mirror dangler. So like what got into my head was like, oh, you hang it like on the mirror, like on the top, and so when you stand in front of the mirror and you look at it, it will hang above you as one of those things that mark you as
Yeah,
a
you
character in the
actually
game.
have to like stick it, like tie it to the rear view mirror. So that's why James was saying like it will always probably point down or like
Yeah,
it's just going
always
to flop
dangle.
around,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but it's
I mean,
gonna always
it might
be.
have been more useful if it was like a scented thing, maybe. I don't know, like an air freshener, because that's where you
It's
typically
just a
put an air
silly
freshener.
thing. It's just a silly thing.
Or I would have now that you mention it, it would be cool if they sort of did a collab with Google Maps or something. So it is actually like a crazy taxi cab thing on your sat nav. It goes hey hey hey, and
You turn on the car and hey hey hey, let's go make some
make some
crazy
crazy money.
money. Here we go.
Yeah,
And
like an
yeah, but
Uber
maybe
Eats type
not.
of app.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are so many cool ideas that they could like think of and make work with like partnerships with Crazy Taxi. Maybe they'll do some of them when the new game is coming out, but
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. But for merch, you have limited run games if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah, we're gonna talk about more. We're gonna talk more about them in like the next section of our show. But finally, in terms of generic Sega adjacent news, we want to give a big shout out to Sega Bits, who celebrated their 15th anniversary in February. So Sega Bits are 15 years old now. Hey. Congrats to Sega Bits, to our friends over at Sega Bits. The biggest of which is Korimaru, good friend of the show. But to the entire team of Sega Bits, good job. Keep up the good work. Always a good source of news and a big team covering Sega stuff for the past 15 years, which is amazing. Good job. Keep it up. Here's to 15 more years of Sega Bits. And that
Love Sega Bits.
that closes our first section, the first section of our show, or maybe the whole show. Bye-bye. See you next week. No. That's all for Lime's like, what?
Go
Already?
on.
I don't want to leave.
I just got here.
Oh, the show isn't actually over, but you're making me think it's over,
Yes,
so
just
I'm
for
gonna
you.
leave.
Bye, Lime.
To be
Wow.
continued.
It's
Wow.
just me and James now.
You're going to be covering part
Wow.
Hashtag cancel Lime.
My gosh.
Okay, so the second section of our news roundup is games and DLC. So ever since we did our last show of the season back in December, things moved on, time moved on, and we have games already available that we talked about as like upcoming releases. The first of which is Virtua 5 Revo. It's out now. I don't know if you guys have been playing the game.
I've tried it.
No. Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
want to know. I want to know your reaction to that, Lime.
I got through the tutorial, so I got like a sense of the moves, but I've not gotten good at it at all. But like I gotten the sense of like how the game is, and it's deep with the gameplay. I
Mhm.
feel there is
Is it
definitely
first time you're
things
playing
that.
Virtua Fighter 5, Lime?
Sorry.
First time you played Virtua Fighter 5?
That I can remember, yeah. I think I played it like 2 or 3 times at a friend's house when like during the Dreamcast era, but more than that, no.
Oh, right. So like Virtua Fighter 3, that would probably have been then.
I don't remember.
Okay.
So you played on the Dreamcast? That's what you
Yeah.
said? Yeah.
Yes.
Virtua 5 3 TB. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Cool.
which you can now play as well again
Gotta
if
play
you
this
have.
Ravsig. I know. I've been thinking about contacting you, Ravsig, about it, but then I just don't, and I don't know why. But yeah, we should definitely do
It's a
like
bit overwhelming.
Ravsig
I
should teach
feel.
me.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's a bit overwhelming for someone who like wants to start fresh and like.
I picked the Avatar character as well, and I feel like that was probably a bad choice for a first character, because like that it's like this uh monk-like character, I think, that has like different stances that you can do, and depending on what stance that you have, they're going to do different moves. And so I feel like, yeah, I just picked that character because they looked cool, but then I figured that, okay, this is probably an advanced character, and I do not know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that like Ref6 is saying, that's pretty much every character. But
Yeah, okay,
I don't
okay.
know what is the avatar. Who is the avatar?
Who looks like Aang
Oh, it's
in
like
the Last Airbender?
it's like Lei Fei. Is that it? Maybe
I
that's
don't
Lei
remember
Fei.
the name, but like
Yeah, probably.
if if you know Aang from the Last Airbender, like you know exactly what character I'm talking
It's
about.
probably Lei Fei, I think. Yeah, Rev will probably. Yeah, Lei Fei does have lots of senses, yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there we go.
My favorite will forever be Shundi. Because he's like a drunken old man. That's
Drunken
amazing
master.
for me. That's his biggest strength. So for me, that's amazing. That's someone like thought of that and like, yeah, let's go with it. Yeah. So for
Yeah,
me,
that's cool.
always and forever. Um, Fritz says Wolf Hockfield for the win. Yeah.
Jackie Bryant,
Jackie
Eric
Bryant.
Kelso.
Yeah. Sarah Bryant as well.
Oh, hold on. I
Shenmue
can
connection.
I can just
Yep.
Google Lei Fei and
Yeah, it's probably
confirm
Lei Fei.
that it is.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
reckon so. I was thinking that when you said it, Lime. The Shaolin
Okay,
monk
yeah,
guy.
Yeah, it's like
then
a
it's
Shaolin
probably,
monk.
yeah. There
Yeah,
we
the
go.
monk guy. Yeah.
How do I spell that? Where did
They
I've actually
also
typed it
announced
somewhere.
this
There we go.
a championship to win $100,000 with tournaments
Yes,
Ooh,
all around the
confirmed.
world.
It is Lei Fei.
100,000
It was Lei
Sega
Fei.
coins.
Sega
That was my
coins.
starter.
So the Virtua Fighter Open Championship is a way to win Sega coins. You just have to you need to have a Sega account, obviously, to take part in this. It's you have like that's the first step into getting all of your data. If you wanna get into these championships and win 100,000 Sega coins, and you have to play as Lei Fei, obviously. That's Tall Krillin, says Rafsig. For the Dragon Ball fans out there. Tall Krillin. That's accurate. Yeah, that's accurate. Does he have like the dots? No. Does he? Actually, no, he doesn't. I'm just looking at a picture now. No, he doesn't.
Have you entered the tournament then, Lime? This 100,000
Of
he
course I
does.
have. Of course
Yeah.
I have. I have the RadioSEGA at my disposal. I'm gonna go professional. Of course.
I'm gonna go professional. I
What?
can see the dots,
Casey,
Rev.
Casey, did I just hear you making fun of me? Did I
No, no,
just
no,
hear
no,
you
no, no, no,
do
no, no.
that?
I would
Because
never
my
do
gosh,
that. I
my
would never
gosh,
do that.
if you do, my gosh.
Oh, he does have the dots, but it's like in a different way. Oh, okay. Can I show this to people? There we go. He does have the dots. There we
Who's
go.
this guy?
Yes,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is
The
Leifei.
Airbender guy.
This
Does have the
left.
Oh.
dots. There we go.
Got you.
Oh, I mean dots. Dots.
Like-
Why are we talking
like-
about
Like,
dots?
The
like a
dots?
dice. Like a
Like a
6 on a dice.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Krillin from Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
Hence the connection.
But yeah, RadioSEGA is gonna teach me, and I am going to go pro.
To win 100,000 SEGA coins.
Yeah, of course. And
Excellent.
of course,
Yeah,
that's my money. That I'm not going to share.
Instead
It's
of
like, I'm
Rav
the one.
winning that, he's going to teach you so that
Yeah,
you can win.
yeah,
it,
exactly.
right?
And
right.
Rav's not going to get anything
Makes
for it
sense,
because I
makes
did.
sense.
So yeah,
Of course.
of course.
You can barely notice the dots there. I mean, I struggled as well. So, yeah. Anyway, that's Virtua Fighter 5 Revo and also the, I think, 2.0 update to Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown on the PS4, which I think is basically the same. Probably, Refsig will probably correct me here, but I do believe it's like the same idea here to make the two games basically the same. I don't know about like the rollback code if it's in Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Have they updated that as well? Probably. Essentially the same, yes. Nope. Okay. So probably not for the hardcore fans then. They will go with the Steam release, the PC release, Virtua Fighter 5 Revo. Yeah. No rollback on the PS4, nor 4K. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. Lucane says, I sadly only know how to play the Virtua Fighters on Dead or Alive 5. Okay. And the intro. Yeah, the intro is very good with Takenobu Mitsuyoshi. Moving on, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is out. And spoilers, we are going to have a very special episode. Spoilers, everyone dies. No, we are going to have...
You read my mind.
No, we're going to have a very special episode dedicated to this game next week. Next episode of the Sega Lounge will be like one of our usual deep dives into these new games, and we're going to go full on crazy Majima pirate style with this next week. So, dude, look forward to that. It's really good. I'm gonna say it now. It's really good. It's like it's unhinged as Majima is, and it's my kind of game. Spoilers: Majima is a pirate. Yes, Lucane. My God, should have
What?
said
I didn't know
something.
that.
My gosh. Look, can we ban Lucane? I don't have mod powers.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to people who got spoiled by this unhinged comment by Lucane. I do love this game very much. I'm having a lot of fun. It's short, just like so. This is basically like a man who erased his name style game in terms of like it's like a spin-off. It's like a side story to the mainline Yakuza games, and you're a pirate and you sail.
Spoilers.
What's not to love?
And you have
My gosh.
high sea battles, and then you have Honolulu again, all to yourself, and you have islands to explore, and there's a crazy story. It's even crazier this time. So yeah, spoilers: Majima is Majima in the game. I mean, he starts out not being Majima, but then he becomes Majima.
Did he lose his memory or something?
Yes, he loses his memories. That's how the game starts. Yeah.
See, I've not played it, but it does look very good, and it's my kind of game that it's like shorter because I'm still sort of playing Yakuza 7.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
say I'm
that's
playing it
really long.
like very on off and on, but I do intend to play them in order. So I
Mhm.
need to beat that one first before I get to this
Yeah,
one.
if you play 7, 7 still, not
7,
8,
yeah.
not
No, I need
Infinite
to do
Wealth.
7,
Oh,
then
okay.
Man That Erased the Name, then 8, and then
Oh,
there's.
okay. So
So
yeah,
I'm very behind, but that's just my life. So
something interesting is that they actually spoil 8
is
very
this
early
like in the pirate
into
game?
this.
Oh,
Yeah, I
They
had heard something
spoil
like that.
Infinite Wealth very early into this one. So
Like the
you
ending of Infinite Wealth is spoiled, right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. They explain so because like they say so Majima loses his memories and then he very quickly
You're not
uh
spoiling it now, are you?
no, he very quickly goes back to where he was and sees people he used to know and they're like, "Oh, don't you remember we were doing this here?" And because of that happened and I'm like, "Okay, so you're spoiling Infinite Wealth for people who haven't played it." And then that person did this and that was the bad guy and then wow, oh my god, that's very spoilery. So if you don't want to be spoiled, play Infinite Wealth first and then try this one.
Okay.
But it's definitely very fun. And it's like I'm more I always say this, I'm more of a like an action type gamer than like a
Turn-based,
turn-based
yeah.
RPG gamer. So I'm more into this sort of gameplay. And you have two types of like combat systems to play with, which is fun. There's like the battle, the ship battles as well, which are fun. Yeah. Anyway, that's for next week. I just wanted to say that the game is out for people who aren't paying attention, and it's got a Metascore of 79 on PS5, 86 on Xbox Series X, which is actually where I'm playing it, and 81 on PC. So it's
Fantastic.
it's actually 79, really low for PS5. That's a big difference. Should be in the 80s, I feel. But yeah. Rafsik says, I missed the turn based bits. No. Boo. Boo.
You get them in Yakuza 9. I'd have
don't
thought.
boo Ravzig.
Yes, boo. And now
Ravzig
he
boos
won't.
you.
No, and now he won't teach you how to play Virtua Fighter because I booed him.
And yeah, Judgment and Lost Judgment, I need to play those two.
Me
I'm
too.
just that behind.
Me too. Me too. Yeah.
I can't keep up with the
and they're
two games a
constantly
year.
on sale. Okay, moving on. Another game that is out and that I want to check out at some point is 2 Point Museum. So, have
Right.
you guys played this? No, I'm
I
guessing
think
no.
Limas.
No,
No.
I haven't
Nope.
played any
No.
of the point ones actually. I've seen people play it. Like Dr. Scottnik has played a few of those games. So I've hung out there. So like, I just know the feel of it.
Mm,
I'm not
okay.
much of a Sega fan anymore, by the sounds of it, because I've not played anything for ages.
Yeah, I want to play this. These are very fun games. I played the 2 Point Hospital. Didn't play Campus, although I had been meaning to, but you know, you only have so much time, so
Mm.
definitely not like a priority for me. But I want to try this one because I feel like it's has a lot of like Sega connections, like a lot of
Mm,
Sega fan service, and I really
yeah.
wanted to have someone from the dev team on the show at some point. So if I can make that happen, I'll definitely play this and like maybe
Then I'll
stream
play
it.
it.
Then I'll play it. But I really want to maybe do one of our special episodes about this as well. Rafsik says, yeah, I saw that you rated it 1 out of 10, like Pirate Yakuza, because you're 5 hours in and haven't been able to play Daytona USA yet. Daytona USA 2 yet. I saw that. Boo again. Anyway, 2 Point
Such
2 Point
drama.
Museum. 2 Point Museum is available now. Metacritic score 84, so it's ranked higher um, than Pirate Yakuza. So maybe instead of playing Pirate Yakuza, maybe you should play this. Maybe that's the Sega game to play now. Right? As you can see, a lot of accolades. It looks really nice. And it's also one of the tracks in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, perhaps.
Yeah,
It's the museum. It's probably the
indeed.
2 Point Museum. Right?
I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty clear that's what it's supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm. Looks like it. Yep. So if you're familiar
You're
with like these
expressing it as
management
if it's
types,
as if you're uncertain about it. Like, is there a question about it?
I don't know if they don't call it 2 Point Museum, they can just say it's like a random generic museum. So I don't know if they
I don't
want to
know why
call
they
it that
wouldn't.
or not.
I did listen to your show. Was it last week's show
Mhm.
about Crossworlds? And I agree. Like, why would they not? Because they own these properties. Why would they not call the tracks? Like, actually make the point that this is a 2 point track.
Mhm.
Same with the
It would
Kraken
make
thing. If
sense.
it's supposed to be based on Pirate Yakuza, why would they not say Pirate Yakuza Kraken World?
Not sure if it is, to be
I
honest.
mean, it's called the Wonder Museum.
Wonder Museum. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're avoiding like calling things or like being obvious about the crossovers. So they're like,
Yeah.
there are
Like,
nods to Sega games. Apparently, there's Galaxy Force as well, but
Yeah,
it's not
interesting.
obvious for some reason. I don't know. I think it's a missed opportunity to have
Yeah.
these all tie in, like Nintendo does with Mario Kart. They have Zelda tracks, Animal Crossing tracks, stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
cool stuff.
Agreed.
But 2 Point Museum, apparently very good. You can't spell museum without you and me. That's true. So, and it's a very
Wow.
humorous game as well, and it's out for Xbox, Steam, and PS5. So, do check that
Can't
out.
spell.
It's
This is just me.
in the plans
You,
for me.
you can't spell Shamu without the mu. A museum.
You
That's
can't spell lime without I and me.
Nice.
We've gone too far.
So very
We've lost people.
self-centered.
We've lost everyone
I
now.
and me.
I know. We've lost people now.
There's no I in team. Well,
but there's a me. Anyway, Fritz says, I have yet to play this. Sadly, can't get a physical copy here in the US stores. I've gone full digital now. I'm not ashamed to say it, but yeah. Although we're going to talk about physical copies later in a bit. Something else. So, rounding off these like the section of released things, a couple of Super Monkey Ball bits of news. So first up, we have for 2020 fans of COVID, we have the crewmate from Among Us in Super Monkey
Yeah,
Ball,
right.
Banana Rumble. So it's like the crossover no one knew they wanted, but now we have.
Weird, isn't it? Very weird.
It is weird. I love it, but it is weird. Yeah. DLC out now. Maybe something that people are more excited about, like generally speaking, in the world of gaming, is what was announced yesterday. I think yesterday or the day
Right,
before.
yeah.
Pac-Man is in Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. So now everyone this is turning into Smash Brothers. right? It's like the Monkey Ball version of Smash Bros. Everyone is in Banana Rumble, even Pac-Man. Waka waka waka.
Waka
DLC
waka,
out now.
I love it. I do love that they're doing this, but it also feels like I don't know. Maybe people still are playing the game, but it just feels like it's who's this for now? Like, is it enough to get people to go back to the game or pick it up if they didn't pick it up when it first was released? Maybe Pac-Man fans, I guess, might be excited.
I think so. First of all, I think I agree with you in terms of like I haven't been playing this and I haven't played it for a long while.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I do think it's a very good game. It was really really fun when we were all playing it. Um, but I think there's a strong community behind this game. There's like lots of people are really big fans of Super Monkey Ball. There are a lot of people who are upset that Sega haven't brought this to other systems yet. I don't know if they have a deal with Nintendo because it doesn't really make much sense to make this exclusive to Nintendo consoles when the other ones, the previous ones, were on Xbox, on PlayStation, on PC, I think as well.
Yeah,
So I don't
maybe.
know if they have like a timed, if this is a timed exclusive. They haven't brought Somebody Amigo to other consoles either, like Party
Apart from
Central.
that Meta, was it Meta with the VR thing? But
But that's
other
like a
than that,
different version, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's like VR, and there's the mobile version, but
true, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's like a timed exclusive or like a deal with Nintendo, or maybe they think this is the best platform to release the game, and that's it. That's something that I think is worth considering. But there is really a strong, I believe there's a strong community of Super Monkey Ball fans on Nintendo consoles because of the GameCube originals. The other thing is that maybe they're like banking on the Nintendo Switch 2 announcement. And you
Mm.
can play Switch games. So if you're picking up a new console, why not pick up this amazing Monkey Ball game that we have on the Switch? And that is now optimized. It's now 31 FPS instead of
Do you
30.
And
think?
now has Pac-Man.
And now it's
Do you think
back.
if they continue to release DLC in this format like this, do you think these are enough to maybe repackage it and say like Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble, Switch 2 Complete Edition or whatever, or Deluxe
Deluxe
Edition? Yeah,
edition. The first one, what was the what wasn't it Super Monkey Ball Deluxe? Like it was 1 and 2 on the Xbox, I think, in PlayStation, right? Or just Xbox.
what
Like
the
back in the
original?
day. Wasn't it Super
Yeah,
Monkey Ball Deluxe?
it was Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. Yeah, I think that was the Xbox One. Well, the original
It
Xbox.
was, it was like 1 and 2 packed in
1 and 2
together.
were released on GameCube separately, but I
And then
think it was
they
Xbox was the only one that had
the two. So maybe they'll do something like that. Maybe they'll like release Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble DX or Deluxe with the DLC and maybe more content. They've not been just adding characters, by the way. These DLCs are also available with like patches, like versions 2.0 point something, which add tracks to the multiplayer modes.
Ooh.
So
Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah, I should
Yeah,
have mentioned
that's
that
good.
as well. But I think people only see the characters. That's the only thing that people,
Yeah.
oh wow, Pac-Man is in Monkey Ball.
Hmm.
But
If
to
they're
answer
adding
your
stuff to
question,
the
I don't know.
multiplayer, maybe you should try. Maybe we should try playing that again sometime.
That's a good shot. I'd
I'll
be
be
up for
Pac-Man.
that.
It was
Yeah, yeah.
fun.
Yeah. There are more Baboom tracks now.
More
Remember
Baboom?
Baboom?
Baboom. I
Baboom?
don't remember which
This is
one Baboom.
Baboom, right? Or
Ba-boom.
Baboom? Baboom. It's the
Baboom.
bomb mode.
It's
Baboom.
the one where it's like the
What
tag.
did what
Yeah,
did you do
like
there?
the like hot potato
You pick,
Right,
style game.
right. The tag one. Right. Yeah.
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 Yep.
So that's it for Monkey Ball news. So coming up next, things that are either haven't been released yet, have been announced but haven't been released, or Sega adjacent. So first of all, upcoming releases. Dave the Diver. Have you guys played Dave the Diver?
I'm
I
not.
haven't.
It's on my wish
Have
list,
you
my
played it?
Steam wish list forever. It's been there forever. But Ichiban is coming to Dave the Diver. Ichiban's holiday DLC is coming out April 10th, 2025, but it's only available for purchase for 6 months. Dun dun. Ichiban number 1. So you will be able to buy this as paid DLC, right? For the game. It's like an indie darling, Dave the Diver. As I said before, I have it on my wish list, and I have been thinking of buying it forever. It's again on sale very often, but we only have some time. We only have,
You only got 6
like,
months.
and you only have 6 months to buy this, and you only have like limited time to live your life and play games. So, I've been prioritizing other things. But if you're interested in this, you can also have, if you go over to the Sega Bits news post that we're showing on the video version, you can actually check out this video of the devs doing a deep dive into like this DLC. So I can actually show it a little bit, and they show stuff. There we go. They talk about collaborating with Sega and RGG Studio, and that's it. There we go. Yay! They're really happy about this. But yeah, you have Ichiban in the game.
There he is.
There we go. In
Swimming.
all its glory. There you go. So this is Dave the Diver with Ichiban. Like this little like Streets of Rage style character select
Yeah.
screen.
Pixel.
Yeah. So you can give it a look, and you have like Streets of Rage style gameplay
Oh,
as well.
okay.
Even the fonts are Streets of Rage. You have karaoke.
Hmm.
So what's not to like? What's not to like?
Looks fun.
Yeah. I see live like, maybe I should.
Yeah, I was like, what kind of game is this?
So I'm
I
not the
did
best
not-
person to.
It was a diving game.
Yeah, I like. There it looked like kind of a Street of Rage thing, but then it looked like a completely different game, like with what they showed later. And so then I was like, none of this is what I thought
Mini
this
games,
was.
I think. Mini
Oh,
games.
okay.
I think
That
the
makes sense.
core gameplay is you're a diver and you're like trying to
Mm.
catch fish or something, and then you also run a
You're a
sushi
diver
restaurant,
who's also a fisherman. Okay, yeah.
probably, and then you have
Mhm.
to run a sushi restaurant at night or something like that. So
Yeah,
I
okay,
think
yeah.
those are the two core mechanics:
Okay.
diving and fishing, and
then now
running
fighting.
a restaurant, a sushi restaurant.
Yeah, okay.
And
I
then there
see.
are mini games, I believe. In that now Ichiban is in the game, so go grab it from April 10th, 2025, or miss out completely because you only have 6 months, unless they release Dave the Diver DX for the Switch 2 with Ichiban DLC.
If you're listening to the show,
Dante from Devil May Cry.
July, August, September, October. If you're listening to the show on October the 10th, you've just missed out, unfortunately.
Haha. No, sorry.
Imagine October the 11th.
11th, okay.
11th. So like imagine, what should I listen to? Episode 250 of the Sega Lounge. What? Ichiban on Dave the Diver. I want to get this. No, you can't.
No. Game over.
Disappointment.
Too late. Oh.
Actually, you're a disappointment because you should have listened to this show earlier. It's your own
Oh
fault.
my gosh. My
I'm
gosh.
bullying the listeners.
Yeah, and your punishment for not doing it is you don't get the DLC. See how
There.
does that feel?
Topical sort of news discussion.
The
You're
Sega
already
Lounge just
outdating yourself.
rubbing in to their face.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
My gosh. You're so cruel, Casey. You're so
I'm
cruel.
really cruel. I'm a terrible, terrible host. Uh, anyway, moving on with stuff that hasn't been released yet. So apart from the Dave the Diver DLC, we also learned that Forever Entertainment is bringing the House of the Dead 2 remake to PC and console spring 2025. I haven't played the first one, the first remake. I got this press release by Forever Entertainment, and they sent this interesting trailer. So, thoughts on this, guys? I believe James, you probably played this back in the day.
Yeah, I'm like a really big House of the Dead fan, to be honest. The original 2 games I played to death. 3 and 4, not so much so, but I did have them on the PS3 with the Move controller.
The Move controller. That's a throwback.
Yeah, it worked quite well. To be fair, I kind of wish there was some similar sort of device in 2025. To be fair, because the original House of the Dead remake, in my opinion, just isn't great. I really didn't enjoy it as much as I was excited for House of the Dead remake and a House of the Dead 2 remake in this case. It just didn't play how I was hoping it would.
Mhm.
Like, even on the Saturn, the original House of the Dead one with a controller plays perfectly fine. But I did find the remake to be very, I don't know, just something in the control didn't feel right to me. It felt very slippy, and obviously a light gun based shooter, ideally you want to be using a light gun. So when the only control method is using a controller, I would have expected them to nail the controls, and I don't think they did. And
So
there's
you're
even
talking
like
about the remake, the remake of
the
the first
remake,
one, right? Where did you
correct?
play it
Yeah,
on? What did you play it on?
PS4.
PS4.
Yeah, and there's also
Is
like
there like
gyro.
Switch? Oh, okay. I
Okay,
wonder
yeah, I
if on
think
the Switch you can use like the Joy Cons as like light as a light gun.
maybe actually thinking about it, but there was like gyro scope functionality with the PS4
Mm,
controller, but it just wasn't very accurate. It
mm.
kept like unsyncing itself, if you know what I mean. Like it wasn't 1-to-1 like you would expect. Like even the, like I say, the PlayStation Move controllers had a great time on House of the Dead 3 back in the day, and House of the Dead 4. They actually nailed that light gun look and feel back then. But obviously, we don't have like a sort of a Move esque peripheral these days, unfortunately. But I hope that they've maybe tweaked or improved on the control mechanisms for House of the Dead 2 remake. I will pick it up. I will. I'm just hoping it's a lot better than the original, because
Yeah.
I'm the same with Matt. Like Matt, we both played House of the Dead 1 remake, and we both came away with the same opinions about it. That it just doesn't do the original series any justice. So if you've never played a House of the Dead game before and you come into the remake, I honestly cannot see you coming away with a positive opinion on the series.
Seems like you're not the
which
only
is
one.
which is a shame. Yeah, I think it's a massive shame, because there's potential in there, and I feel like the controls of this have to be precise. They have to be good. Like that's the only mechanic of the game, is just moving a cursor and shooting. And if moving the cursor and shooting doesn't feel right, then the whole gameplay it's just not there for me. I don't know if other people have got different opinions. Like I know Corey Maru is like a big House of the Dead guy, right? I don't know
Yeah, he's
if
a big
he
fan.
enjoyed it. I don't know what his opinions of the remakes
Yeah,
are,
I don't
but
know either, but yeah. But apparently
I was really disappointed.
Metacritic
original.
agrees with you, like 57. On the Switch, actually, the PS4 one has a 63
So the
score,
Switch
but
is even lower, which
it's actually
looks.
Switch is based on 41 critic reviews, whereas the PS4 is 7 critic reviews. So yeah,
Okay.
Xbox One 64 5 reviews, and it has a user score of 7.2. So apparently, people are a little bit more positive than the
Yeah.
critics. But
I'm looking at like
7.2.
Impulse Gamer there. He's basically said it
Yeah,
like the aiming issues,
and a
and I
very
think for a
short
shooting
playtime.
game, yeah. Well, we all know a very short playtime that is House of the Dead, and it doesn't need to be a long. So that's not
Mhm.
really a negative for me. I expect it to be like a
It's the
half an
same
hour
game.
playthrough. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like a
but
one-to-one remake, right?
yeah.
Like
But
Panzer
apparently
Dragoon
Corey did.
was.
That was good though. Panzer Dragoon, the same company, they sort of nailed the feel of a Panzer Dragoon game. I did enjoy the Panzer Dragoon One remake. But the House of the Dead one, they just didn't feel right to me.
But
And
it
Sim Fritz
wasn't
is saying in the chat that
really that well received generally either. But better. But better.
mm,
So a
mm,
63 better score on the Switch. But I think it was maybe probably deserved a little bit more. Um,
I would say it's still the better option to just
mhm,
pick up a Sega Saturn and play Panzer Dragoon One
mhm, mhm.
over the remake. I think the remake is how easy it is to play. You can boot up your PlayStation 5 right now and play it or whatever. That's the only benefit to playing that version.
Yeah.
I would still always recommend the originals.
Mhm.
Same with the House of the Dead games. I would always recommend, if you can't get access to them in an arcade, playing it on the Sega Saturn or the Dreamcast for number two.
Which is kind of weird, right? How
It
they're
sort of defeats the purpose of a remake, but
right.
yeah.
So if it's not better, why bother? But I've got mixed feelings about Forever Entertainment. They have some interesting games. The ones that they worked on with Sega or for Sega, I feel like maybe they could do it with a bit more polish, and I don't know. I don't know what goes behind the scenes with these games. But they have this. They have supposedly Panzer Dragoon 2 remake. Panzer Dragoon 2 remake is also
Yeah.
coming soon. I don't know. Have you played this, Lime? The first one?
I have played the beginning of Typing of the Dead.
Okay.
So make of that what you will.
Fritz says that Corey did not enjoy the demo for the remake of 2, which was also available. I wasn't going to mention this because it was available as part of like Steam Next Fest or whatever. There was a demo. I don't think it's available yet right now anymore. But it was available for Steam, for the Steam version. Corey didn't like it, so okay. And he's a big
Well,
fan of House of the Dead. It's like probably
Like
the
I say, I
biggest fan
think,
of the series that I know.
I mean, the lick of paint that they've done to it is nice. I'm not 100% sold on the art style as such,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously it's got that kind of Unreal 4 engine look to it, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
they're using to make this. It's got like better graphics in a sense, even though it's, nostalgia wants to say that House of the Dead 2 on the Dreamcast still looks better in my opinion. It's
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
it's got that upgraded look and feel, but like you mentioned about the polish, it just isn't there. Well, it wasn't on the remake one, so hopefully they've learned from the mistakes. I'm not sure, and improved on it.
Especially the controls. That's what they really need to work on,
Yeah,
right? To make better.
100% the
That's
controls.
the
Yeah.
biggest thing, right? If it doesn't control well, it's really not worth your time. Okay, moving on to something I'm very excited about. And out of all of the games coming out this year. I
Mm.
think Pirate Yakuza included, this is the one that I'm most excited about, which is we knew it was coming. We didn't know when. Shinobi Art of Vengeance from
Mm.
the
It
creators of
looks
Streets of Rage
amazing.
4.
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
It looks absolutely
Um,
amazing. I'm so curious to see how this feels like playing.
mhm.
I
Ever
really think
since
this
the
can be
the
awesome.
announcement in 2023 of like those 5 new games, and we had like a very brief look at this. This was the one that I was most excited about.
This is
What do you
such a
think,
dope
Ryan?
trailer as well.
Hmm. And it had like throwbacks to Shinobi 3 and the other
Mm.
Shinobi classic games. So definitely. Do you guys think this will be like a Metroidvania or just like a side-scrolling action game?
Level based platformer.
Hmm.
It looks to me like more of a stage based, if I had to say, call it now, just because of how we're seeing quite a few differences in the gameplay. How there was those sort of almost like Battletoads esque, where they're on the sort of the racing stage where he's jumping over the fences. I'm talking about Battletoads. I've just seen that like he's on the sort of the white horse type of
Yeah, in
running across the screen.
Shinobi 3 as well. There's that, and the like on the water, like the
Mm.
like
Surfing on a board kind of, yeah.
surfing. Yeah. I don't know if
I could see
this.
this being that.
Oh.
I could see this being a Metroidvania. I have absolutely nothing to support that with. I'm just like I would be happy if it was.
They just say on the website, on Sega's website, they just say the iconic Shinobi returns in an all-new 2D action platformer with a unique hand-drawn look created by the team behind the hit brawler Streets of Rage 4. Play as the legendary Shinobi Joe Musashi, master of the ninja arts. After finding your village burned to the ground and your clan turned into stone, you must set off on a quest for vengeance, ready to face an unparalleled evil and avenge your clan. And
Hmm.
then you have features like execute the ninja arts with precision, wield your vast ninja arsenal, including the great katana Oborosuki, kunai, ninjutsu arts, and nimpo to vanquish your foes. So, in the Return of Shinobi, I believe, which was definitely the like hands down the game of the series that I've played the most, you had different like sorts of like uh magics or like ninja arts or whatever that you could use.
Yeah,
Some of them gave you like you were invincible for a time. The others like had like a massive attack that killed anyone on the screen. So I'm guessing this is like the equivalent of that for this game. Maybe
could be
could be.
ninjutsu.
Hmm. Then they say unleash, master the way of the shinobi, unleash limitless combos with unique combat moves, acquire amulets for enhanced abilities, and discover ninji tools. Ninji? I don't know. To overcome obstacles and uncover new paths. This is the part that I think could be hinting at a Metroidvania style of gameplay because you
Okay.
acquire amulets for enhanced abilities, then you overcome obstacles and uncover new paths. So maybe you have to retrace your steps, go back, and like you can now reach a new area and progress through that area. And like, even though there are definitely different stages, maybe you can move. It's not the only Metroidvania that has different stages, and you can like move freely and like fast travel between different parts of the map. So maybe
That would be
it's
cool.
that style of game. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then journey through a stylistic new world, venture through more than a dozen unique and visually striking stages, from military bases to a scorching desert, challenging platforming puzzles and hidden secrets. Hidden secrets. So maybe Metroidvania. I know you're not a big fan, James, right? You're not a big Metroidvania fan.
Like, I personally would prefer, like this is saying, like a staged based platforming game where there's a obviously there's a start and an end in a Metroidvania game as well, but the retracing your steps aspect and the time it takes between that for me seems a bit, I don't know, unnecessary. I've played games before where it's like you run to a dead end and then you run all the way back, and then it's a struggle to figure out where to go next in a sense, and then you just suddenly twig that, oh, I've got this new ability now, and there's a hole in the ceiling or something, and you can like triple
Mhm.
jump up there or something,
Yeah.
and then you find the next part of the stage. I kind of just
Mm.
prefer like a more linear experience, but that's just mainly just the way I've turned as a gamer over the years. I prefer
Mm. Yeah,
the
I can
game
see
to
that
tell
being
me
a
where to go
preference.
next, rather than me try and figure stuff out and use my
Hmm.
brain.
Hmm. I
But
know
I'm
Lime's
down
more
for
of a
a
fan, though. Yeah.
Shinobi based Metroidvania game as well.
Yeah.
Any type of Shinobi game is going to be great
Yeah.
at this point in time because we've not had one for ages.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've just absolutely loved games like Ori and the Blind Forest, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, like amazing games, and so I could definitely see this being in this format. But I also see and like can see how someone would prefer to not having to backtrack so much and just go through the same area like 50 times just to get somewhere else. I can see that complaint.
The thing is with Metroidvanias, because you unlock new abilities, backtracking isn't really that much of that big of a deal because you can like fast travel. After a while, you can like move very fast between areas. It gets like can get tiresome, but not that much, I feel. When I think of Metroidvania, a good one that I'm a big fan of is Dust: An Elysian Tale. I don't know if you guys ever played this one. This is one that I
I've not played
recommend.
that. No.
I believe Viper is a big fan of this as well. I have this like on 3 or 4 different platforms. Have it on I think I got it on XBLA back in the day on the 360. Then I got it on the I think the Switch, probably PlayStation. I don't know if I have it on Steam. Maybe I should get it for my Steam Deck. Haven't played this in a while. Really cool Metroidvania style game.
Like one Metroidvania style game that I really enjoyed back in the day was the one on the DS that was, I think it was called Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, and it was one where you had to like draw ritual type shapes with the
Mm,
stylus to unlock
okay.
an ability or something. But that was one that I did get into. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying like
You hate
they're
them.
not great. I
Yeah.
hate
Yeah.
them. Yeah, I'm saying
Okay.
that currently, if you were to offer me a 12 stage based original type of Shinobi or a Metroidvania type of thing, I'd probably pick the
The stage based one.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. But between nothing and the Metroidvania, definitely is Metroidvania then.
Yes.
Fritz
Wow.
says
Yeah.
Dust is a modern classic. I agree.
Yeah.
I was
I enjoyed that
looking it
one
up.
too.
It's like it's a 2012 game. It's 13 years old.
Well,
We really are getting old. To close the chapter on Shinobi for now, because we're going to talk about this a lot throughout the year, I'm guessing. But there's also our everyone's favorite merch producer, Limited Run
Mm.
Games, is also doing a pre-order, or will be soon doing a pre-order of the physical collector's edition or editions, I guess, for the three main consoles, so Xbox, PS5, and Switch. So look forward to that if you're into your physical games.
Games
Um,
Cage says, please stop.
yeah. This
Coming.
Yes.
I kind of I think it's
Wow.
it's worth digging out this tweet that Casey's got on the screen just to read the replies
I'm
because
just gonna
I wasn't
hide them.
expecting everyone to be so hateful.
Please stop. N- Never, says limited run games in reply. Never.
Never.
Oh god. What's wrong with Shinobi? Uh, kind of glad to see you're also not a fan of this. It sucks, but it's all on Sega.
Well, those are just the replies to that. Please stop. But if
Yeah,
you look
this
at the
please
actual
stop. Where was it?
main
The main
replies,
ones.
like every single person seems to have an agenda against limited run games for some reason.
Oh,
Um,
some people are happy about this.
Okay,
Uh,
I think what you've got on the screen here is the actual limited run games tweet, but the Sega one, the specific Sega
oh yeah yeah
quote,
yeah 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 yeah
that's
yeah
the
yeah
one
yeah 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 yeah
that's
yeah.
particularly
Okay, okay,
brutal.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Can't wait to see my copy in 2037. LRG, to get the game takes ages. I will not be purchasing anything from them. Please reconsider going forward. You're Sega, for crying out loud. Remember who you are. LRG is not one to partner with. If you are going to do collector's editions in house, find a different partner. But for many of these games, not doing in house is ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, what I will say is there is other physical editions of this game, so it's not just. It doesn't look like it's solely through limited run games because someone did
Mhm.
link a Play Asia version that's going to be releasing in
Yeah,
like the
that's
Asian
true.
territories,
It's
which
here.
could be
It's
worth
here.
picking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Get the multi-language
these,
version from PlayAsia for a bargain price and get it
there you
on
go.
release date too. But this is not
Yeah,
like this is just the regular version of the game, right? The other one will be
true.
collector's edition, so
Mm,
maybe they have that going for them. But it's definitely going to be a while. Even people are still waiting for the Sonic X Shadow Generations collector's
yeah.
editions. So if you want to play
You'll probably
this
find,
on launch, maybe go digital
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
or order it from somewhere else. Like it probably will end up on Amazon.
mm,
You know,
mhm.
as like in Europe maybe we'll have a different provider, but it looks like the American release is going to be through limited run games.
The King says it's almost as Sega have forgotten how to release games physically. Um, yeah. Tweety said every time Sega works with limited run, the longer wait it becomes by another month until someone's order finally ships out and another one surviving Sega console stops working instantly. Oh my god, that's too harsh.
Do a lot with Sega. To be fair, if you think of all the merchandises that they're doing very recently, they've got those Yakuza big boxes that they've been doing recently. Obviously, all the merchandise around the 25th anniversary of the Dreamcast they've been doing. They did the Virtua Fighter limited run stuff, the Sonic stuff, Shinobi stuff. So they are actually becoming one of the main providers of physical merchandise and physical games
Which
for
I
Sega, which
think
is interesting.
is what's upsetting people
Yeah.
because people are still
Yeah.
waiting for previous pre-orders. It's been a few months since Generations came out, and people still don't have their pre-order.
See, the
They're
problem with
like
that,
collector's
I
editions.
do get it because you're sort of forced to double dip, aren't you? Because obviously you're going to want to play the game at launch, and if the game's not physically ready for 6 months, you're going to buy it and then buy it. So I can see the annoyance at that.
It is what it is. And sometimes like the quality of I haven't had any problems. I haven't bought apart from the Dreamcast stuff that I'm still waiting for, obviously. But I haven't bought a lot of LRG stuff in the past. But what I got was
Oh yeah,
okay. Never had
I
any
would completely
problems.
agree with you.
But yeah, but
I bought loads of limited run stuff over the years.
yeah, but like Fritz is saying, people have been complaining that they replace like they use like generic CDRs for like classic games like like generic brand memory cards and stuff like that. The quality of the merch as well, people have been complaining, and like the price as well. especially the trading cards. There was a lot of backlash when they announced the trading cards, so I can see why people are upset. But
One thing I've seen that they have recently fixed, at least for like UK based people, is there is a UK based warehouse now, so the shipping cost is actually relatively cheap. So I did see a lot of people in the comments saying complaining about like customs fees and stuff. But you don't particularly. I don't think I've ever had custom fees with limited run games, because even back when they were shipping from America, that was factored into the price, which was quite good, I guess. Not that the shipping cost was good, because it was like $25 to ship something like just a standalone game, but at least one of the more recent positives is that the shipping fees are quite low now. So if you try and order one of these collector's editions, you're probably going to pay like £8 shipping,
mhm.
or a standalone game is maybe like £5 shipping. So they have got better at the shipping aspect, which was in some cases doubling the price of a game.
I think it's still the case for
Is it still the
European-based
case for Portugal?
customers, for Portugal and Europe, like
Right.
EU. I
That's just a
believe.
benefit to
I
me then.
haven't. I have. I haven't thought about that. So I'm making an effort not to think about that.
Right.
Just not
Oh,
to suffer in anticipation, because
I'm sorry I brought it up.
I'll cross that bridge when we get there. And by that I mean I'll take out my wallet when we get there. But yeah,
Wallet and a
that's
pitchfork.
Mm, yeah, and I'll do like angry tweets as well. Good thing I'm not using Twitter that much these days. I'm missing all the hate. Anyway, that's it. Shinobi, this doesn't really mean it's not that important, because I do believe the game will be awesome, and that's the most important thing. So yeah.
Agreed.
Casey tweeting angry stuff. That's something I'd pay to see. Yeah, not really my style. Fritz says it does make you wonder if Sega has spent so much developing whatever the super game is that they need help publishing to save money. I think this is a situation akin to Streets of Rage 4. Not that I think Sega will be publishing this one, right? And this is like a full on Sega game, but they're like not really in terms of like physical releases and collector's edition and stuff. They're not like fully committing to it. So they're like, okay, so like choose a, maybe they talked to Lizard Cube and said, do you have a partner someone you want to partner with? Oh, in the past we worked with limited run games. Oh, us too. So let's go with them. And that way we don't really have to concern ourselves with that, like that snowball of issues producing, distributing, and stuff. And so LRG takes care of that. I think they're approaching this the same way they did with Streets of Rage 4 and other games that have been developed by outside studios. That's my
Could be like
perspective on this.
how much faith they have in the sales figures. It's like one of those properties that they're not quite sure how well it's going to sell.
Although they did this with Sonic X Shadow Generations. So
It's true, but it did get a nationwide standard release as well, didn't it?
Mm.
Like you could pick it
But-
up in a shop.
but the like the collector's edition and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
I don't know. There's a money reason somewhere. I don't know exactly.
you think? You think?
I
just
could be
goodwill,
wrong,
fine.
Lime. I could
What,
be wrong.
Casey? What does money have to do with anything here? Explain
If
this.
you make
Isn't
if you
that
make
a
a
Tina
SEGA
Turner
account,
song? What's love got to do? No, maybe it's no. That's money. What's
Yeah,
money got
that's
to
love,
do?
not
Sorry,
money. Yeah.
damn. I sang the right song. I screwed up.
you sang the right song.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Shinobi is coming soon, so I'm very excited about that. But something that's out now is Steel Paws. And I know,
Oh,
oh, Jim's like, yeah. So this is, why are we talking about this? Many people are wondering. Well, if
because
you're
it's
not,
steel pies.
because it's the latest Yu Suzuki game, right? So
Sega
Steel
adjacent, isn't it?
Paws,
Yeah.
Sega adjacent, and it's Yu Suzuki. We'll never back out from mentioning Yu Suzuki on this show. So this is a Netflix game, by the way. This is the trailer, and I'm gonna share a little bit of like gameplay that you and Matt, Tims, you guys actually played, or maybe
Oh, thank
Matt.
you.
I don't know.
It was Matt, yeah.
Yeah, Matt, but you probably played this as well.
I've actually not played it yet. So
Oh,
it
okay.
released on Tuesday. So yesterday I was really busy, so I haven't actually got around to sitting down and playing with it myself. But Matt played a sort of a pre version of it, which is how he was able to do a full video review and do
Hmm.
a review on the website. So we do have a review, a written review on shimudojo.com, and we do have a video review out on YouTube
Yep.
if you're interested in this game. So essentially, this is the latest release from WiseNet, so Yu Suzuki Studio. So far, they've done Shenmue 3, they've done Air Twister, and this is the latest game that they've been working on, which is great. I mean, it's nice to be able to say that Yu Suzuki's still in the video game business, he's still creating games, his studio's flourishing, they're making games, which is great. Hopefully, this can then trickle into a potential future Shenmue series title, like Shenmue 4, is what we all hope to see one day. But
Speak for
between
yourself.
then,
I'm here for the Steel Paws.
you're here for the still pause. But yeah, between then and now, we've got games like this that serve a purpose. That it looks really fun to play. Netflix have taken this under the wing, which is good. It's Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hi Matt. So it seems like, I don't know if it's just because it's a Yu Suzuki based game that they're sort of getting these great deals, but if you think about Air Twister got a great deal out of Apple Arcade, so they probably got a good chunk of money from Apple Arcade. Netflix games here on this hand, probably getting a good chunk of money from this. Shenmue 3 got a good chunk of money from Epic Games, whatever, controversially. Um, so they're doing these big deals really with these sort of interesting platforms, up and coming platforms, if you think of it like that. Like Netflix games, as they're trying to weave way into the market, aren't they? Video game sort of streaming market that your I forget what it was called now. What was it called? The
Hi,
Stadia.
Matt.
Is that Google Stadia? These sort of platforms that are trying to get these type of
Yeah,
digitally
the Amazon
subscription
one.
based. I think, was it Google
Oh,
Stadia is
Google
what I was trying
Stadia.
to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Amazon
Yeah, yeah.
is Luna, I believe,
Right,
as
right,
well.
right.
Yeah.
So these platforms of games that are exclusive to these platforms, or
Hmm.
delve into other avenues, and still pause as part of the Netflix games. So if you've got a Netflix subscription, there's kind of no reason not to give it a go if you're interested. I think it's an app-based game for a smartphone or a smart device,
Yeah.
iPad, an Android device. Download Netflix games, and then in turn download Steel Paws and give it a go. And it helps. I'm sure it supports Yu Suzuki and WiseNet if you're a fan of Shamu or Yu Suzuki in general, or Virtua Fighter even.
Yeah.
The godfather of that series.
Space
Supporting my
Harrier.
playing his latest game. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So many.
And the game itself, it's got sort of rogue-like aspects to it. So there's a system where you're leveling up, you're collecting stuff, you're making your cat robots better equipped, upgrading them, tackling the stages. If you die, depending on what difficulty you've got the game set at, you either lose like half of your everything that you own, and I think on hard difficulty you actually lose everything. So it's very much unforgiving in that aspect. But
Like risk reward.
risk reward, yeah. It is a game that you can complete. It's not an infinite,
Hmm.
mobile game. It is a game that has a start and an end.
Yeah.
So it's got no microtransactions because it's on a subscription service like Netflix. So it is a fully fledged game that, from what Matt's saying, suggests that potentially it could get a console release further down the line. It feels very much like a console game on a mobile platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the sense that like the touchscreen controls aren't great. It's recommended to play with a controller.
Mhm. Yeah. So, by the way, disclaimer for people watching the video version: Matt is not included. Matt Oliver not included in Steel Paws. We're just watching the review, the video
You were
In
getting
review.
between
my hopes up.
stages. Yeah.
No, there's no
Matt is the
unlockable DLC.
cutscene.
You know, like no, yeah, or yes.
Yeah.
But you actually had me at Cat Robots, James. So
Yeah.
I have
Cats
this
and
downloaded
robots.
on my iPad. I haven't had the time to play it yet, but definitely want to check it out.
It's good to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Also,
then
shout out to
hashtag
No
let's
Pause
get
Menu.
Matt into Steel Paws.
Petition to get Matt Oliver into Steel Paws.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
Pause Menu is a Shenmue lover. So yeah, welcome. We welcome all Shenmue lovers here to the game, to the show. Yeah, I mean, it's we always have this ulterior motive of supporting Yu Suzuki games because we want to
Well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
get Shenmue, more Shenmue. But I mean, Air Twister was a pretty decent game. I enjoyed myself a lot while playing that game. Like 2 years ago, was it already? I think so.
I think
Right?
so. I think it
I
was
believe.
Apple Arcade 2022
Yeah.
and then
Or
console
3.
release 2023.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah. And that's it. That's definitely it. Because he partnered with In Games, and we actually had a giveaway of a couple of codes as well. Yeah, and I have it on my Steam Deck, so really enjoyed that. Had it on the iPad and then played it on my Steam Deck. So it's not like these are bad games. They're just like simple, fun
Just fun.
games,
Yeah.
but to tide
play.
us over until we get what we really want from Yu Suzuki.
Yeah. True.
Right? So that's the idea. But do check it out, Steel Paws, Netflix game. So if you have a Netflix subscription, you can get this for free and download it to your mobile device, iPad, iPhone, Android phone, Android tablet, whatever it is. You can get this there and play it. It does support controllers, right?
It does, yeah. It's actually recommended to be played with a controller. So if you're using like an iPhone or an Android device, you can obviously hook up your PS5 controller, for example, a Bluetooth type controller, and play it like that. Or if you've got like a backbone, that works equally as well. It's good.
Yeah.
Touchscreens apparently aren't great for this game in particular.
Okay. So
be mindful of that.
To check that out. Very, very quickly, James, since we have you here, and No Pause Menu asked a Shenmue question. Do you feel Shenmue 4 is a game that can have open world features, or do you feel that will open up dilution to the game?
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, the previous 3 games have been open world technically, all fully reactive eyes entertainment games if you want to go down that route. But if Yu Suzuki, and I know Yu Suzuki wants a substantial budget to make an open world game, I don't think he'd satisfy himself for anything less. I think Shenmue 4 is a game that probably has to have open world features in Yu Suzuki's mind. I don't think it could not be an open world type of game. He has said in the past, and so going not to turn this into like a bit of a Shenmue stream now or Shenmue show, but
Too late.
Shenmue 4 is supposed to be set in Shuzo. That's where the guys are traveling to next. And previously, to get to Shuzo, the chapter was that you go on a train. So it's heavily implied that Yu Suzuki's going to have a train section, and he said in interviews that he wants to make a game that is open world in a sense, but it's very tight, narrow corridors, very much a train. If you think of a train, it doesn't, he wants a small space, but all of the detail, which if you go back to Shenmue 1, that's essentially what Shenmue 1 was, especially now. I mean, I know the world may have felt bigger back in 1999, but you play Shenmue 1 now, and the world is not very big, really,
Obviously.
but it's very, very detailed. And that could be how Yu Suzuki defines open world features these days for Shenmue 4. It might not
Hmm.
necessarily be 100
An
hour
open
epic,
world.
crazy open world, but it is an open environment. It's just that the environments might be tighter, smaller.
Hmm.
That answers your question.
Yeah, and that's something that Lime will definitely play. You still need to play 3, right, Lime?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was going to do it for Game Blast, but then I got too ill, too close to it, so I had to cancel it. But yeah, probably for the Pride charity events that I'm assuming is coming up
Hmm.
together with Sega. So we will see. But yeah, if it happens, then we're definitely gonna do it then.
And then Shenmue 4 the next year,
Yeah. Yeah,
2026.
of course, that's gonna happen. Yeah.
The open
To
world
answer
train.
to answer no pause menus other question, do you feel there's any microtransaction in the future of Shenmue? No. Next.
Wow.
No.
Sure hope
Next
not.
up, moving on. But thank you for your questions. No pause menu. Moving on. City of Wars, which is an officially licensed smartphone game for the Yakuza series. City of Wars powered by Yakuza. You brought this to my
Powered by
attention.
Yakuza.
Yeah, you brought this to
I
my
don't know what it
attention,
is.
James.
Like, I honestly wouldn't be able to talk about this. I just saw this pop up earlier, and it said it's a Yakuza-based smartphone game that's releasing today. So I thought that was quite noteworthy for this
Yeah.
show. I thought
No.
maybe you'd want to talk about that because obviously this is one of Sega's, main IPs currently, and this is a bit of news relating to it. So
Mhm. Um. So yeah. So apparently, I found some information about this. So
that's good because I couldn't. I went on YouTube actually and just typed in Yakuza City of Wars. And I
no.
couldn't even get a
So
trailer. So
there's I found this news post here. Like a Dragon takes a new direction as their latest mobile game, City of Wars, powered by Ryuga Gotoku, is available to install and play as of today. Similar to games such as Rise of Kingdoms and Clash of Clans, City of Wars takes the approach of real-time strategy gaming, in which players must build their cities and strategize where and what should be added to benefit their area without risk of destruction. In regards to how this concept benefits the addition of the familiar faces of the Like a Dragon series, it is certainly an odd collaboration. Yes, it is. But, and I'm not really sure about how Ichiban looks there, both here and on that, the tweet that we shared earlier here. It's like, I don't know. Weird.
looks like an
Weird.
AI version,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. ChatGPT, come up with
Yeah.
a picture of Ichiban Kasuga for City of Wars, powered by Yakuza. Uh, maybe something, I don't know if it's coming out of like Japan or not. If it's just like an Asian exclusive thing. But I could see RefSig getting into this. This is like a strategy, a real time strategy game. He's into this sort of thing. So maybe. And then he'll come on the show to talk more about this.
You'll have a
So
dedicated episode.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes. Shorter episode in the history of the Sega Lodge. Rafsik said, you'd be right. There we go. Okay, last bit of news because this is already a 2 hour long show. Today, as we're recording this, as we're doing this show, we had a Nintendo Direct for the Switch, for the Switch One,
Right.
actually.
Yeah.
A week before we have like the Switch 2 announcement Direct. And so next week they said, "Oh, let's do one for the Switch One and talk about games that are coming in 2025 and 2026. Because why not?" And we had an Atlas / Sega announcement, which is a remastered version of Raidu, the Mystery of the Soulless Army. I have no clue about this game whatsoever, but it's
Me neither.
remastered in HD. Have you guys ever
It
played this?
looks no, but it
Never heard of
looks
it.
very cool. Definitely looks like a game that I would enjoy playing.
Mm, yeah, and it's definitely
Got a
it's
bit of a
got that.
persona look to it, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's got
yeah,
like that
indeed.
Atlas slash Persona with like the Persona like characters as
Mm.
well,
Mm.
like Jack
Like
Frost
blue.
and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
What was
something.
this originally released on? Do you know?
So this was originally. I have something over here somewhere. PS2.
Okay.
It's the original game was a Devil Summoner Raidu Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army. So it's one of the Devil Summoner games, and now they're calling it Raidu Remastered: The Mystery of the Soulless Army. It features an overhauled battle system, enhanced graphics, full voiceover added to the main story, and quality of life enhancements to improve the gameplay experience. It's coming out on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Steam, Xbox X Series Xbox Series X and S. And there will be physical editions available for PS5, Switch, and Xbox Series X.
June the 19th.
June the 19th. Exactly. So it's coming soon. It was mentioned in the Nintendo Direct, but it's also being made available for other platforms. So this is definitely one of those that I'm guessing will be well received by Atlas fans, by RPG fans. One of those remasters that they've been doing lately. And a very smart move, if you ask me, to tide people over until we get like a main new persona or new Shin Megami Tensei or new Metaphor or Fantasy. It's smart. And that's what I think they should do with Sonic. Like
What,
Ooh,
in
remaster something?
between. Yeah, why not?
remasters.
Like
What do you want to see
release
remastered, Lime?
That's a good
Sonic
question.
Labyrinth.
That is a good question. I would like to see a remake of Sonic 06, but I don't think a remaster would be fitting there, but a remake rather.
I'm being called fake ass KC on the Radio Sega Discord by Purvis. He'll
Oh
talk up
no.
the personas, but he won't touch an SMT classic. I don't know about them. I only
Is that what this is? Is this
even
a Shin
Persona.
Megami Tensei game?
Yeah, it's all like the same thing, right? So Persona is Shin Megami Tensei. It's like a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei. So it's basically,
Okay.
I
Maybe.
believe, that's my understanding at least. Like Devil Summoner is one of the other like spin-offs. It's basically the same type genre. Maybe I'm saying something really, really bad here. I don't know. But I'm only familiar with Persona and the latest ones too. So I don't claim to be an Atlas fanatic or connoisseur or anything. But yeah. So yeah, Raidu Remastered coming June 19th to a platform near you.
Pick it up or be called
if
fake.
it's sorry?
I say pick it up or be called a fake.
Exactly. Which
Wow.
is probably what's gonna happen to me. Because I don't know if I'm gonna pick this up. Not really my style of game, to be honest. But if you're into this, more power to you. Okay, that's it. 2 hours in, and we got it all, I think. Unless we forgot something. But
We did forget some of it.
I believe there's limited run games will also be involved with the physical releases of this game, by the way.
No.
But
Really?
let's not delve too much into that because we've hit it on them already. So yeah, boo limited run games, boo RAFSIG.
There's
for
so
no
many.
reason.
Stop
For no
booing Ravzig. My gosh.
your dreams of
I'm
winning
no
the Virtual Fighter
boo.
tournament
I'm
are
booing
over.
your booze.
Is it
Mm.
Boo or Boo earns? I don't know. Classic Simpsons moment. Guys, thank you very much for joining me for this for the 250th not anniversary
Oh, wow.
episode of this show of the
Oh, we're
Sega
going to do something
Lounge.
popular.
The
Heck yeah.
best way to celebrate is to have you guys with me. So thank you very
Yeah.
much, and
Yeah.
thank you to everyone who joined us live as well, and to the listeners slash viewers of the on demand versions of this podcast. Where can people find you, and what have you been? What are you preparing to show to the world, James? James, like, "Well,
Wow. That's put me on the spot there. Yeah. So you can find me, I mean, me specifically, as like Skill Gym on social media platforms. I do have a YouTube channel, but predominantly you'll find me over at shenmuedojo.com, where we'll be doing some more podcasts very shortly on some of the artworks that I teased recently. I've been working on the pages that we're going to be again releasing very, very shortly, within a week or so now, I would have thought. I'm painstakingly going through each image, because they have been photocopied at some point, if you know what I mean. Like there's like a lot of black dots. I'm removing black dots and trying to make the website as as good as it can be when we do actually drop these Shenmue artworks that I'm talking about here. So these are from 1996 to 2000, so very much very early Virtua Fighter RPG. We've sort of stumbled across an auction that was selling essentially 400 pieces of original Shenmue artwork. Um, some spoiler stuff in there, I guess you could consider it spoilers for the future of the series. Um, a lot of like concept art, sketches, renders, like early renders, just a treasure trove of Shenmue content. So if you're a big Shenmue fan like me, and you're excited to see something a little bit different for once, rather than just happy just waiting for 5 to 15 years for a new game, at least we're trying our best to sort of give some sort of Shenmue content. Matt
yeah,
does a great job of like a weekly video. If you're craving some Shenmue content, definitely check out Matt's videos on YouTube on the Shenmue Dojo channel. And like I say, we'll be releasing this artwork very shortly and doing some podcast episodes around it. So if if that intrigues you at all, definitely check that out in the coming weeks.
excellent, excellent, and still pause.
And still pause, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Of course, of course. Actually, mostly Steel Paws. But yeah, but Shenmue as well. That's Shenmue stuff as well. Uh, the Steel
Still
Paws
pause
Dojo.
Dodo. Yeah.
Okay, Lime. What about you,
Yes.
buddy?
You can find me on Lime Reversed is the handle, and you can find me on Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, mainly on Twitch, and hopefully I'll get Rapsig and I together and do some virtual fighter. Hopefully this Pride Month we are gonna get to Shenmue 3 and play that during the charity event. Other than that, I'm on Twitch, 100% in games and having fun. So yeah,
Rafsik says we really gotta schedule that. So
yeah.
I'm guessing it's gonna happen sooner than later. So looking forward to that. As for myself, I'm always around the Sega Lounge. So thank you very much, loungers, for joining me. Thank you, James. Thank you, Lime. Remember that you can check us out on Terra Player on Radio Sega every week as well. We have the video versions of these episodes coming up or going up on YouTube every Friday as well. and all your podcast services. We're everywhere. You can't run away from us. But thank you very much to everyone who listened in or watched live. Hopefully next month we'll be back with another live episode. But as I said before, next week we have our Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii special. With a deep dive because into that game. I apologize.
Wow. My gosh. You even did the dive motion.
You're really missing out if you're just listening. See you guys next time. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. The Sega Lounge, hosted by me, KC, a Mixon Productions podcast and part of RadioSEGA's network of live shows and podcasts. Theme song and incidental music by OSC. Got any suggestions? Drop me an email to podcast@thesegalounge.com. Find us at thesegalounge.com on Blue Sky. Check out our YouTube channel for our video content and follow us on Twitch to join our Let's Play sessions and live episodes. You can find previous episodes of the show by going to thesegalounge.com on the TerraPlayer app and wherever you listen to podcasts.